Hi guys, it's Kathy. I hope you're doing well. Yay, we have Bren and Bobby back. Hi guys. Alright, we made it to Saturday morning. Barely, but we did it. So, the other day, if you can see your screen, the other day, we had Judge Fish with this guy. And if you missed it and you didn't see it, it was really good. You should go watch it. I do have the last piece of this guy to remind you what kind of day Judge Fish was having before he gets into the next case. And this next case is crazy in a completely different way than this guy right here. It's this, you're going to form an opinion early, and it's going to change, and then it's going to change, and it's going to change, and poor Judge Fish. Anyway, here we go.
This denied that you want to subpoena Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I don't believe he's going to have anything relevant to talk about at the trial. We'll make sure this gets uploaded as well. I need that stamped as well. That needs to go in there too. Wasted a stamp on that one. Okay. Good?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Well, how's come last time, I tried to ask them if I could turn something into them through the correctional office. They told me they just fed me a story that they gotta ask somebody if they can or can't do that, and they tried to act like I wasn't allowed to do that.
I don't know. I generally believe that when somebody tells me something like that there is some sort of administrative process they have to go through to actually do the thing that you're trying to get done, because they're trying to protect and keep people safe and all this.
So what if I try to get them to do what you just asked me to, and they tell me no once again?
Well, I think they're going to understand that I asked you to, right?
Well, they didn't understand last time.
Did you invoke the power of Judge Fish and say, Judge Fish told me to ask you to do this?
Yeah, I told them that.
Okay.
They wouldn't allow
Mr.
me.
Hammer, you want to approach and police this up?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, I'm staying right here. We're adjourned, but I got another hearing, so you're free to go. Thank you, sir. Yeah. Yeah, you can take as long as you need. Well, I bet you don't. Well, then would you please set our record for...
How's come you want to know about my camera? You got a credit card? How's come? How's come the other day you didn't ask about my camera? How's come? It just gets worse. It's just about to get worse. Any day now, my camera should work again. Any day now, just waiting for delivery.
Joseph Augustus Hals.
I don't know, because we couldn't hear what he said. So the inmate was walking out of the courtroom, so he was not near a microphone, and said something to Judge Fish, but we didn't get to hear what that was. So this guy is pro se. This lawyer is, I just think it's good that this lawyer had someone that was pro se. Let's just put it that way.
Yes, this is State of Indiana versus Joseph Hals, 64D01, 2603 F5 2350. Defendant appears pro se. State's represented by Deputy Prosecutor Hammer. We were set for a hearing on red flag.
So all I have is the PC for search warrant. Do you have a petition?
Yes, Your Honor. It was in, it's on and I should clarify, it's 64D01, 2603 RF 3269.
I have 2369.
Oh, I just must have. Yes, Your Honor, I will. May I approach with an extra copy of, or well, not an extra, but my copy of the,
It's more than just the affidavit to show probable cause for seizure of firearm, correct? Or is that all you have?
for that one, Your Honor, it's the affidavit to show probable cause for seizure of firearm for a dangerous person on that one, Your Honor.
Okay.
I don't believe anything else was.
Yeah, because it wasn't filed, because this attorney struggles, guys. It's fine. I wish the camera worked because I have to show you what peeps are. We had a discussion about peeps the other day, and it's Easter weekend, and there's peeps everywhere, and I had some to show you, and I can't show you. Well, I guess I could just get a picture.
Sir, are we pronouncing your last name correctly?
Pause.
Yeah, can you grab that microphone and pull it towards your face? You don't have to move yourself, just move the microphone. Yeah, pull it towards you. There you go. So it is Hawes.
Yes, sir.
Did you get a copy of the affidavit to show probable cause filed by the state? 3-page document? Yes or no, sir?
I don't understand the question.
Oh, I'm asking whether you got a copy of this 3-page affidavit to show probable cause for seizure of firearm.
No, I never got anything.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me print one for you, sir.
I don't know.
I don't have enough for everybody, but I do have enough for Snoopy. If Snoopy shows up. Snoopy had his surgery, and we don't even know how he's doing.
No, I don't.
My printer's been very slow this morning, so we'll get one printed at some point once the scriveners get their toner warmed back up, I guess. Give that to the respondent, please.
So you saw how long it took for him to print 3 pages there? That's going to be important later.
State, how would you like to proceed then this morning?
State would like to call,
So, the state is proceeding. If you live in the United States, realize that what you're about to hear is, I think, how the entire rest of the world thinks that all of us Americans actually live. Right? So it's someone from another country is speaking to you. This is how they think we live every day.
William Marshall.
Okay. Come on up. Please raise your hand to be sworn. You swear affirm under penalty of perjury to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Okay, thank you. You can be seated.
Detective Marshall, can you please state your name for the record?
Detective William Marshall, Marshall.
And where do you currently work?
Porter County Sheriff's Department,
And how long have you worked there?
15 years.
Were you called to assist back on, I believe that was March 2nd of this year, with an incident at 257 East Burdick?
Yes, I was.
And what were you called for?
There was a complaint of firearms being discharged on the property, and the initial patrol response located some shell casings and some damage to a tree along the roadway, indicating that there was active firearms being shot.
Can you explain this area a little bit better?
Burdick Road, T intersects with County Road 250 East. Just, I believe it's the first residence to the east of that intersection, is 257 Burdick Road. It's a county road. The house sits approximately 100, 150 feet off the roadway, faces to the south.
And you mentioned a tree. Where is this tree located in comparison to?
It's about 2 to 3 feet off the edge of the roadway.
Okay. And you said it's near the roadway. And where did you find these casings?
On the front porch area of the residence.
Based on your training and experience, what would that indicate of direction of?
That rounds are being shot from the porch south.
And there's the tree and then the roadway immediately behind it?
Correct.
Okay. Is there anything else in that area?
There's a residential neighborhood to the south and also to the west.
Would that also be in the same direction
Yes, it is.
of fire? And did you make contact with anybody at that point?
No, not at that point. I was informed of the situation. I responded to the scene, spoke to the officer in charge, and then responded to the police department to obtain a search warrant.
And this roadway, is it a straight roadway?
No, there's a slight curve in the roadway right before you, if you're traveling eastbound on Burdick. There's slight curve in the roadway and
Hi, Beck, my love.
a wood line to the north.
And would somebody be able to see a car coming necessarily?
No, I would say there's probably about 25 to 30 feet in between the tree and that wood line. There's like a makeshift driveway leading to a pole barn that has a small clearing in between that wood line and that tree.
And with that, approximately, you said you saw shell casings. Approximately how many?
I didn't see the shell casings. They were recovered by the CSI team before I arrived.
Stupid YouTube. Just seriously, it's stupid YouTube. So I do have to warn you, a part of this is going to make some of you really, sad or mad or sad mad. And then it gets a little worse, but it's not, it's fine. You'll see.
Do you remember about how many there were?
There was a number of 9mm. I don't know the exact number.
Okay. And were you able to tell if this was recent?
Yeah, the damage on the tree was recent, as well as there's a utility telephone pole right next to it that also had some fresh damage.
And at that point, did you ever make contact with any individuals on the property?
After obtaining the search warrant, I did speak briefly with the female resident. I believe it's the spouse.
Okay. And I would just like to admit, or at least for the court's recollection, the affidavit for search warrant that was previously, I believe, filed for March 2nd that he's referencing.
Do a copy of it?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're going to get it marked and
Yes, I will. Actually, I will need to borrow a.
Judge, Your Honor, Your Honor. He had no idea he had to actually mark a provided copy during this hearing. You got to give him some time now to borrow a.
Yeah, approach her.
You may. Absolutely. Need a copy? No? Who's this copy for?
For the respondent,
How's
Your
the
Honor.
plan?
The
There's no
respondent needs a copy because he didn't bring one for him. Okay.
Pass that one off to our respondent.
Thank you.
Your original.
Me too, Sandra. Abso-freaking-lutely, me too. Absolutely. If only he had a criminal record, I might go after that. I need a little more red flags first.
Do you recognize that document?
Yes, it's an affidavit for a search warrant that I submitted for the residents at 257 East Bird.
And how are you able to identify it's yours?
It's handwritten and it has my signature on page 2.
And that is a true and accurate copy, as you're aware?
Yes, it is.
State would move to admit.
Oh, sir, do you have any objection to the admission of the search warrant as Exhibit 1?
What are you asking me?
I'm asking you whether you object to the admissibility of that document, sir.
No, I have no objection.
Okay, we'll admit 1. Thank you.
Thank you. So,
This poor guy sounds just like a sweet, innocent old man. Right? Has no idea what's going on here. Really has no idea what's going on here. But just reserve judgment, guys. Just wait. You got to hear way more.
the PC that's contained in there, is that similar to what you had just provided to us, the court,
Yes.
a minute ago? And based on that, was a search warrant granted?
Yes, it was.
And then upon that granting of a search warrant, you said you made contact with an individual. Who did you make contact with?
I spoke with the spouse, Tammy.
And did you gain any additional information from her?
Not specifically from her. I also spoke with officers who were present during the initial investigation that spoke with her.
What information did you gain?
They advised that she made a statement
Objection. Hearsay.
that earlier that evening, the defendant returned home from Copper Customs with some new firearms and that he was testing them out on the front porch and shooting at the tree.
Did you get any other information from her?
She advised that there were a number of
Objection,
weapons.
hearsay.
The ones specifically from this evening were long, not like short like a pistol. And he had also gotten a .22 pistol that he planned on test firing at the tree the following evening.
And approximately what time of day was this?
The incident occurred approximately 6:30. I didn't execute the search warrant until about 10 p.m.
Was it light out?
It was turning dark.
Okay. And what else did you do as part of this investigation?
I assisted in the execution of the search warrant for the home.
And what did you find during the execution?
Underwhelmed metal? Guess what? That's about to change. Here we go.
Of said search warrant.
Numerous officers conducted searches of various rooms. In total, I believe 134 firearms were recovered and several explosive devices.
And have you had a chance to either check or look into those items that you collected?
Yes, the bomb team confirmed that the explosive devices were active, and then one of the firearms was confirmed by the ATF to be an unregistered machine gun, and 3 of the rifles were short barrel rifles that did not have the proper documentation or tax names.
Can you explain that in a little better detail of what kind of special licensing or?
The federal government requires tax stamps for rifles that are less than 16 inches in barrel length. 3 of the rifles in the home were less than that, and he had no federal tax stamp for those.
Were you aware of any special licensing this person had?
According to the ATF, he does not have the license to possess the machine gun, the short barrel rifles, or the explosives.
And I guess now come to the question, were you made aware of the identity of the person shooting?
Yes.
And how did you learn
Good question, Miguel, but no. That's not it. There's way more.
that information?
I reviewed body camera and spoke to the initial officers who identified him as Joseph Hals.
Is Joseph Hals here in the courtroom today?
Yes, yes.
Will can you point them out for the record?
He's sitting at the table with the black jacket.
Will the record reflect that he's identified the respondent in this matter?
The record so reflects.
And based on that identification, did you gain any other knowledge by the guns that you had collected?
Just that the one firearm was capable of full automatic fire, which is controlled by the ATF and no license for it.
And additionally, what other investigation did you do on that night specifically?
The ATF came and examined it. They advised that the firing pin is not free floating; it's fixed, which in essence makes it a fully automatic weapon.
Okay. And what other things did you notice about the items that you had collected?
Oh, well, I mean, the firearms that we collected were the only ones that we could gain access to. There was 2 safes in the basement that were unlocked. There was firearms in every room throughout the house. There was also a large safe, very large safe in the garage that we could not access, and was essentially it's like the size of 2 large freezers. Couldn't be moved, and we couldn't gain access to it.
And did you approximate how many number of firearms, explosives in total that you recovered?
We took into possession 134 firearms and 2 types of explosives. There was maybe 10 explosives in total.
Are you aware if that was everything in that house?
No, there's additional firearms. Someone had previously estimated 300 would be in there, but we only were able to recover 133.
So they recovered 133 firearms, which is less than half of what he actually has still in the house.
And how did you come about that 300 number?
We have dealt with Mr. Hawes in the past for investigations where bullets have struck his neighbor's residence, as well as he's fired rounds off when people have pulled into his driveway or knocked on his door. He's met them with firearms. There's
Okay, in his defense on that one, we've all wanted to do that. Just admit it. We wanted to do that over and over again. We just didn't. Hopefully none of you have just fired at people who pulled into your driveway or knocked on the wrong door. Because you can't do that, but you kind of want to.
detectives that have been inside the house and recovered firearms in the past and have knowledge of what was in the large safe, and there will be additional firearms in that safe.
Do you remember approximately how many times that could be that you've had interactions with Mr. Hals?
Specifically with firearms, within the last 10 years, there's 6 or 7 incidents where firearms have been shot or suspected of being shot from on his property.
And did you go and review prior reports?
Yes, I did.
And did you include that on some of those reports on the red flag filing?
I did. We have a new recording system. So in March of last year was when we began using that system. So I included those 2 reports, and then I later had our records department pull up the rest of the reports from our previous recording system.
So I think this is the first time I've ever shown a red flag hearing. There's nothing criminal going on right now. You're going to hear more about that later. A red flag hearing is just granting the police the ability to go and seize all the weapons. So the judge just has to decide if the police are allowed to go into that house and seize the other 160 weapons and explosives that are in the house right now.
And do you have them here?
Yeah, I have them here.
May I approach?
Sure. Too big for me to copy. You need copies of that one too? Well, you should probably prepared for a hearing. I can't copy them here. It's too many. You want to recess and get some copies made?
Yes.
Okay. I'm happy to do that. Yeah, we'll recess in place while Mr. Hammer goes around to the copy machine in my chambers.
And does what he should have done before the hearing, Judge? Maybe?
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Sir, we're not on the record at this moment because we're just taking a quick recess. Did you have a question about the procedures, sir?
Yes, because I've never been arrested before.
Sir, I can't really answer questions about the proceedings or give you any legal advice, but you were arrested the other day. I know that because I did an initial hearing.
Yes, you did. That's the first time I ever got arrested.
Okay, sir. I'm sure that'll come to light, but I'll need you to talk about that during your side of the case.
Okay.
And I'll make some advisements as well before you testify, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That means yes, Monica. He went to visit family. So yes, he did.
Thank you. You're back on the record.
Thank you, Your Honor. What I've placed in front of you, Detective, do you recognize that?
Yeah, it's a number of incident reports and CAD reports in reference to the 257 East Burdick address.
And did you personally get these pulled?
Yes, I pulled some of them personally, and then our records department pulled ones from our old system.
And do you recognize them all, though?
Yes, I do.
And are they true and accurate?
Yes, they are.
State would ask that the State's Exhibit 2 be admitted.
I see. Any objection to 2, sir? Have you had a chance to review 2?
No, sir.
Go ahead, sir. Take a look at that. Unless you just want to say whether you object or not without looking at it. Any objection, sir?
No, sir.
Hey, how you getting around the hearsay objection on this?
Your Honor, the hearsay objection would be around because this is in a trial setting, so Rule 101 is allowed for credible hearsay, Your Honor.
I mean, I'm going to have to make findings of fact based upon the evidence you present. It's not like a sentencing hearing or something. Rules of evidence still apply and they're not relaxed.
Your Honor, how I interpreted Rule 101 was that the rules of evidence, generally, as long as it was credible, based on what his conversations with other officers, it was allowable under Rule 101.
Okay. I mean, you're trying this to the bench alone, so I've got the duty to not consider or to give appropriate weight to evidence like this. So I'll admit too, just with the caveat that, you know, I'm not going to consider anything that wouldn't normally be admissible, and I'm going to give the appropriate weight to the evidence.
I love
understand,
you,
Your
Jake.
Honor.
I
Okay.
love you.
Thank you.
You got the
And
mentors after you.
you were stating before I had shown these to you, approximately how many times, based on those reports, had you made contact or the Porter County Sheriff's Department made contact with?
These are only the ones in reference to firearms. There's several other contacts that have been made at that residence. I believe here in front of us, we have 5 or 6.
And in regards to firearms, what is it generally about?
Either a complaint of a firearm being brandished or fired on the property, either with a dispute with a neighbor or
Okay. It's about to get a tiny bit sad, guys. So he's shot at a lot of things. So if you want to take like 3 minutes and go get a sandwich, maybe you can.
when there was a True Green employee that arrived after an online query to speak to him. He was met with a firearm at the door. Another one was a mistaken address where they were trying to deliver some medical equipment to a neighbor house, and Mr. Hals came outside and fired rounds into the ground. Several of them are with dogs. One dog was shot and killed by Mr. Hals. Other times, warning shots were fired in the directions of the dogs. And the one specifically about the resident's neighbor that owns the dogs being struck with bullets that went into the residence.
And with all of that, was Mr. Hawes the complaining party in any of these?
Yes, and some of them involving the dogs.
Okay. And in that, was the firearm at dispute?
No,
You were able to confirm the use of said firearm?
by his own admission.
Okay. In all of those 5 or 6 cases, as you just previously mentioned?
Except for the rounds that went into the neighbor's house.
Okay. And approximately what's the time period of those reports?
They begin within the last 10 years. I did a query. So the first in 2017 and the last one prior to his arrest that evening would have been in May of 2025.
And you made note of all of this, so that was part of your basis for believing there were additional firearms within the residence?
Yes, then the conversations that he's had with his spouse about the contents of the large safe.
Okay. What did you hear about the contents of the large safe?
He asked if we had gained access to which safes we had gained access to and which firearms we had taken, and he kind of went room by room in a jail recorded phone call.
And with all of that, did you ever speak to Mr. Haas?
I have not.
Did anybody speak to him?
Detective Dazinski spoke to him briefly the night of the incident.
And what information was gained on the night of the incident?
Initially, Mr. Hawes wanted to give consent for us to take the firearms that were of the caliber in question and those firearms only, just like had previously done on a previous search warrant.
I went from working like full time, over 20,000 steps a night, to 9 straight weeks of not working. and my weight stayed almost identical, except for the fluctuation you normally get. A couple pounds here, a couple, you gain them, you lose them. Then I went back to work, and it's still over 20,000 steps, and my weight stayed exactly the same. I don't know why. I have no idea.
After being informed that we were most likely would have to take multiple firearms, he called and rescinded the consent. It was also learned that he was intoxicated that evening, and we thought it best to get a search warrant regardless.
And how did you know he was intoxicated?
The officer that drove him to the jail and interviewed him at his residence prior to the arrest indicated that he had the odor of alcohol emanating from his breath, and asked him to submit to a portable breath test, which he did, which indicated that he had a BAC of 0.11.
And were there any other conversations with him?
No.
Okay. And did you do any other further investigation into either the firearms or Mr. Hals?
No.
And based on that, did you make any contact with any of the neighbors?
Me personally, no.
Yes. Or any officer?
Not that's not already been mentioned.
Okay. And did you notice any shell casing, or not shell casings?
Let's just have an entire hearsay hearing, Your Honor. Can we just have an entire hearsay hearing?
Either fragments, parts of bullets, or otherwise across the street?
There was signs on the trees or the tree of fresh damage that was from that evening, as well as on the telephone pole. No projectiles were able to be located, though.
Did that conclude your investigation, at least at this time?
It did.
I would have nothing further for this witness, Your Honor.
Mr. Hals, do you have any questions for this witness?
Yes, Bobby. All he has to do is stare it down. He'll stare it down and it'll change right away.
You came to my house before? Did you come to my house before?
No.
Who complained? I don't shoot at a tree.
Sure. I don't need you to talk about whether you shot or didn't shoot, anything of that nature. My main concern, and I was going to give this caution to you before you testified, but I want to make sure you understand now, you have a criminal case pending here. So anything you say about the criminal charge, whether you make admissions or whether you make denials, anything of that nature, can be used against you in your criminal case. And I don't want you to put yourself in a position where you make admissions or you do things that could have a negative impact on that criminal case. So if you say what you just said, that can be difficult for you. And it's not really a proper question for this witness, okay? So the first question you ask him, that's a fair question. Do you have any other questions for him that wouldn't put you in jeopardy on your criminal case? I'm not trying to chill you either from asking questions. I just want to make sure you understand what's at risk here.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there anything you wanted to ask this witness?
No, sir.
Okay. Officer, can you give me a little clearer picture of what the neighborhood looks like? I need to understand better about what's the risk here, if any, to shooting at the tree or shooting at the telephone pole.
Sure.
I don't really picture it in my head.
So, like I said earlier, the verdict comes to a T-stop with 250 East, which is the backside of the golf course. And there's homes along a new development along the side of 250 East, and it goes down to a residential neighborhood to the south. Directly south of the residence is like a small, I wouldn't even call it a farm, but somebody owns land, small 2 or 3 acres, and has animals, and directly south of that is the residential neighborhood.
Okay, what's the density down there near this incident for the telephone pole and the tree?
The neighborhood probably has 15 to 20 residents in it. Along the golf course and 250 East, there's probably another 10 or 15.
What's the proximity then to the telephone pole and the tree?
The first residence would just be that short distance south through the farm, which is, I would say, maybe 300 yards.
So past the pole and tree in the same trajectory?
Correct.
Okay, and what do you think is the maximum effective range of these weapons that you've identified as the ones being fired at the tree and the pole?
The question would be the angle in which they were being fired. We noticed damage on the telephone pole between taller than me, so between 6 and 20 feet up in the air is where we actually had to call the company because it essentially is snapped in half from that height above and is just has
Telephone pole did?
Yes, it's been shot more than just tonight, but the damage is extensive to the telephone pole. So if at that angle of 6 feet to 20 feet, I mean, the effective range would be quite a distance.
Okay, well, how long is that? How far is that?
I would say at least 1,000 yards, depending on what they're using.
Okay. Any questions on my questions?
Your Honor, can I approach the witness real quick with just potentially a demonstrative to help aid the court in?
Listen, Mel, it's really nice that you say hi when you come in, but we really just need to hear if the goat ate. Did the goat eat? We have to know. We wait till 4:30 every morning to find out if your goat ate anything. So if you could lead with that, that would just save a lot of time.
You may.
Can you, best as you can, point out with what I'm showing you as where everything's located?
When I was serving last night, whatever, it doesn't matter. And I'm scraping all this food into the trash can, I'm thinking about your goat every time, every plate, thinking about your goat. Man, their goat would love this. Oh my gosh, their goat would love this.
This first residence here would be 257 East Burdick, that is just east of this wood line. It faces south. Here is a priest.
How many people ate all gone on their dinner last night thinking about her goat? I gotta eat this. I gotta eat this food. I can't throw it away. This goat's not eating nothing.
Cool. Just to the west, there's residence here. This is that small farm land that has a mobile home down here on the southern edge. These homes are under construction or already have residents in them along the backside of the golf course. And then this is the residential area. I forget the name, Paul Revere Court. So it's a one road residence that has multiple residents along.
Can you zoom in on that state and show me where the tree is?
Yes, sir. So this is the tree in question here, directly on the roadway. This is the makeshift driveway that goes to the pole barn. And so the front porch would be right here in the center of the residence. And the tree is right here that had the gouge marks. You can't see the telephone pole, but it's directly next to it.
Okay. Can you zoom it back out now for me a little bit?
And so,
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
that was the only clarification I was thinking the court may benefit from.
Any other questions then?
Was anybody residing in that mobile home?
Yeah, there's people that reside there.
I would have nothing further based on that, Your Honor.
Okay. And did you have any questions on that, Mr. Hals?
No, sir.
Okay. Thank you. You can step down, sir. Thank you. Further evidence?
No, Your Honor.
Hey. Mr. Hals, did you want to present any evidence today?
I didn't know what was going on today. On my first paperwork, it said the 17th. of March. So my lawyer just said, plead not guilty.
Okay, so the 17th of March is most likely our next court hearing, although I'm not positive it would be that soon.
And then I have the paperwork.
Oh, you know what? This case was first handled by my colleague downstairs. He looked at the initial seizure, probable cause seizure on this, and it's transferred to me because your criminal case is in front of me. So I believe the initial hearing date in front of Judge Buckley would have been on the 17th. And I accelerated that because I had availability today, and I don't have availability that week. So that's why you're here today, Mr. Hals. But with that, was there anything you wanted to present?
No.
Okay, any argument, State?
Your Honor, given the history between him and his neighbors, that there are at least 5 or 6 other incidences with firearms. There's the reckless behavior of firing across the road with actually to the point of damaging a telephone.
Oh my gosh, Bren, that's horrible. I hope they gave it some pain meds first, and then I hope they made it all better. I mean, I bet he's still there. Hopefully he's not in surgery or anything. Kelly, I love you. I hope today's a halfway decent day. Easter. I know. All right, here we go.
Phone pole and having it precariously hanging until the utility can come and get it. He's putting the entire neighborhood at danger, and also given the fact that that road is not a straight shot where you have views from either end. So to be able to respond fast enough, Your Honor is well aware with how firearms work. It's going to be much faster for that bullet to go through, and when you pull the trigger, than to necessarily see a car or anything coming around the corner. And also firing at 6:30 at night when it's dusk-ish is also highly dangerous and non-advised. Furthermore, given the high-powered nature of what...
I don't think that's actually a rule, though, sir. I've never heard of a rule where, if you're going to fire your gun, you can't do it at duskish. You're not allowed to do it between this day and this day. I mean, this time and this time, because it's, the light is different. Never have I heard that before. Never. I think he's just making stuff up because this guy's pro se. He's not going to say anything.
Firearms he does have, he could hit pretty much anything with shooting at this tree, and the testimony is that there was all sorts of calibers and not just one gun being fired at that tree. And he was in fact getting a new gun at least as of that day, and was just test firing them kind of wildly into the area as it sat there, Your Honor. There was the mobile home, the preschool, all of that is just aggravating in and of itself. Given to that, and he is definitely a danger to the community with having these firearms, with shooting them as he does, or approaching every conflict, at least that has been mentioned, with a firearm or somehow encountering that way, Your Honor. Therefore, state would be asking that you grant the red flag motion for a dangerous person.
Okay, sure you wanted to say something?
Yes. I used to train Porter County SWAT teams, and a lot of the guys still know me. I was getting ready to go back overseas because I just got qualified at Quantico for driving, for shooting. I belong to Michigan City Gun Club, Chesterton Gun Club. I don't shoot my guns, but every time either someone's firing and I don't have a range, but somebody's firing, and I never had a problem with this lady. I was coming home from church, and when I thought it was the neighbor's dog across the street, because both...
Oof. Sorry. Woo. That was close. Then he gets into the sad part way worse here. So now instead of making a sandwich, go make soup from scratch or something. At least 3 minutes. 2 minutes. He's going to say some sad stuff here, guys.
Has a range in his yard. So when I shot the dog, because the dog was coming at me, I was only, when I shovel snow, when I cut my grass, I usually carry the dogs because they got 5 dogs and they just let them go. So in fear for my life, I gotta carry a gun to cut my grass or shovel my walkway. And when Chief Reynolds, when he had animal control come out to my house, Nate was an animal control guy. Then when me and Sheriff Reynolds start talking, he says, I want him to come out there with an officer now because she said, you come on my property again, I'm going to shoot you. So when we were talking, and then when I shot the dog, and I felt really bad, but I called the cops. But those dogs have been terrorizing me. I used to work for State Department, and I used to work for a couple other organizations. I have never been in trouble in my whole life. The only time I got in trouble was on the 2nd of March, where I got handcuffed and thrown in cell. I haven't got a speeding ticket. I haven't got any paid ticket. My nose is clean. But because of this right now, I probably can't train law enforcement anymore. I probably can't do my job anymore. Whenever I would come back from overseas, and the one gun, it won't even fire. They gave me that gun, and it doesn't have a firing pin, that auto, because the switch goes around. I got all my paperwork for all my guns. And I told an officer, I said, the one in my family room is unlocked. The one in the water softener room was unlocked. Now, I don't know where that, since they ran through everything, I'm either going to have to get a locksmith to open up my safe because I can't do it. I was a Navy SEAL for 22 years and never had an incident. And with this officer here saying that numerous times people come to my house, I have never had an officer unless the neighbor called. I'm just nervous here because I have never had anything on my record.
Yeah, I understand, Mr. Hals. So today's a red flag hearing. The red flag hearing only exists to strip your house of firearms, okay?
Yes.
That's really what's going on. That's all you're here for today. So it doesn't mean you're in trouble, right? I just want you to understand that. This has nothing to do with the criminal case. It's tangential, but it has nothing to do with the criminal case. That's why I was trying to get you to avoid talking about the criminal case. State, I'm not allowed to use any of the hearsay evidence that you brought up. I can't use in my finding 5 or 6 other cases. That's not something I'm allowed to do. Those aren't
Dumbass.
properly before the court. All I have is that there are a lot of weapons, that there are some weapons that are predetermined at this point to be illegal weapons or contraband, and I have explosive devices and an allegation that there are explosive devices that shouldn't have been in Mr. Hals' possession. That plus I can use all the circumstantial evidence related to the bullets in the tree and the bullets in the telephone pole, the damage to the telephone pole, the trajectory, proximity to the home, and then I can use the evidence about the danger to the community and the people who live in proximity, the range of the weapons, which I think all came out in the evidence. So I don't think you have any problem getting to clear and convincing based on those facts alone, even with the evidence you presented that I'm not allowed to consider. So today I'll find there's an imminent risk of personal injury to other individuals, and that as a result, I will grant the petition for red flag, allow the state to seize and maintain seizure of the legal weapons. Problematically, the explosives, the illegal guns are contraband, and that creates an additional set of problems for the state. And you have to handle that through other means because I can't really order that you're allowed to maintain and possess under the Baird law illegal explosives and guns. So you're clear. But my assumption is those are going to be evidence or are already evidence in a criminal case, and that as a result, those can be maintained as evidence in those cases, and then subsequent, if there's conviction or not, because they're contraband and identified as such by ATF, they can be destroyed or otherwise disposed of. But at this point, that'll be my ruling related to the legal weapons. Those can be maintained and seized from the respondent, Mr. Hals. The safes create an additional problem for the court. I just heard in Mr. Hals' summation that he doesn't have access to his safe anymore. So I'm not sure what you propose to do under that circumstance. Mr. Hammer, do you have any ideas?
Your Honor, I think he said if he doesn't know where it is, but he's not sure what the officers moved or didn't move.
I think he said he's got to get a locksmith now to get into his safes.
Or at least afforded a ability to look for the key. I may have misheard him. It sounded like he could look for it because he just wasn't sure where it is if the officers had moved it during the execution of the search warrant. If I'm wrong, then yes, it would be a locksmith too.
Okay. So I'll add to my order that Mr. Hals, you're ordered to open up the safes and allow law enforcement access to those handguns, weapons, contraband, whatever might be in there as well. Insofar as they're related to this Baird ruling, I feel comfortable. Insofar as they're related to the previously issued search warrant, I also feel comfortable allowing the law enforcement officials to have access to those
VPN, Bren. VPN.
safes. But that's on you to make sure that they get access. And if you have to call a locksmith, that's fine with me. Do you have any questions?
Yes, sir. Every weapon that I have, whether it's auto or suppress, I did the paperwork for it, going through the motions.
That's going to be important for you to provide to Mr. Harper, who represents you in your criminal case. Make sure you provide that information to him. Doesn't have any bearing on the proceedings today, though, sir.
Because they went through the safes that I had open. I don't know where the combos are.
I understand.
Combinations.
You mentioned that a few minutes ago, and you suggested you'd have to hire a locksmith to be able to get access to those. That's fine with me. You'll go ahead and do that then.
The other two safes are empty. It doesn't have anything in it.
Well, you'll show that to the law enforcement officers as well to make sure that everybody's satisfied that those are clear. Okay?
Yes,
And you
sir.
also need to cooperate with law enforcement to turn over any other weapons that are in your possession.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
That's my ruling. Any other questions about it?
Whenever I can have a date to speak on my behalf with my lawyer.
For this case, for the red flag case?
Yes, or any case.
Well, for this case today, you need to maybe contact an attorney, figure out what might be done on the tail end of this that I just ruled. But it can't be something that happens right away. It takes some time. I can't give you legal advice, but a lawyer certainly can let you know what would have to happen next. That's not up to me. And then you have hearings set. I gave you hearing dates the other day. Are you looking those up?
Omnibus is May 11th and the pretrial is June 8th
May 11th and June 8th
at
for
11.
the felony cases that are here in front of me as well.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And
Thousands of dollars? He has over 300 guns and explosives.
you guys see that they still have a DO4 cause number on this? I don't really care, but it should probably have my cause number on it. I thought I had my cause number on it before. It's back to being Buckley's. If there's no questions, we're adjourned. Thank you.
Your Honor.
We're going to end the stream with a nice long stretch of Judge Fleischer with no No chair watch.
This right here.
This was from a bit ago, just a bit ago.
Ms. Leonidas, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. It is elevated to a Class A misdemeanor because of the high blow. You are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. Does she have any prior criminal history? Was there alcohol in the car, allegedly?
No alcohol in the car. She has prior criminal history, but no DWIs.
No? Okay. Does she have a license to drive?
Yes, Your Honor, it's eligible.
Okay. Ma'am, I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to test you. If I find that you're using alcohol or illegal drugs, I will revoke your bond, put you in
It's okay. Eileen, you can tell us about your crush for Judge Fleischer. This is fine. It's not Judge Oakley. He's number 2.
jail. No more PR bonds for you. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You are not allowed to drive unless you have a valid Texas driver license. You must also maintain liability insurance in your name. If you do not have car insurance, then likewise, you are not allowed to drive. Those are conditions of your bond.
Okay, yeah.
Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer?
Yes, I did hire a lawyer.
Are they supposed to be here today?
Yes, sir.
Who did you hire?
Stephen Stewart?
Stephen Stewart?
Yes.
Did you guys sing any?
I don't see it here.
Okay, so let's do this. For now, I'll have you sign a reset. I'm gonna have you get with Veronica for your bond conditions. Let me have you just take a seat. Hopefully they show up.
Okay.
And then if they do, then we'll give you a different date as
IKR. I know, right? I know, right? I know, right? Like, I know.
opposed to what we normally do, okay?
Thank you, sir.
All right.
This way. Go ahead and sign for your reset. All right, Judge, next is page 24, sign in. Veronica, is that? Okay, go ahead and see Veronica behind you.
Oh.
Good morning, Mr. Simon. Good morning. Sir, you're charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. Car,
Sorry.
is it driving in a car?
Yes,
And
sir.
does he have a license to drive?
Driving license right now, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Simon, as a condition of your bond, I'm ordering you not to be in possession of any weapons while this case is open. You are not allowed to drive unless you have a valid Texas driver license and a liability insurance in your name. If you do not have either, then you are not allowed to drive, and that is a condition of your bond. Do you understand? I'm just asking you to follow the law. Do not have any weapons, otherwise I will revoke your bond, put you in jail. No more PR bonds for you.
His license is eligible.
Great. Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer, sir?
Yes.
We will give you time. There's a gajillion and one lawyers in Harris County. 99% of them will put you on a payment plan. If you ask for a couple $100 a month, they'll represent you. It's like buying a car. Don't go to a Ferrari dealership unless you can afford it. You know what I mean? Same thing with a lawyer. There's the Cadillac, there's the Ferrari, there's a Yugo, there's a Hyundai, whatever it may be. All right? We're going to reset your case, give you time to hire a lawyer. I'm going to have you take a seat in the jury box. Once you sign the bond conditions, at that point, you'll be free to go. Please. Okay. Mr. Haggard, how are you? Good to see you, man. What's new?
I can't. My camera won't. If I try to turn on my camera, A, it won't work, and B, the stream will just freeze. Nobody will be able to see Judge Fleischer, which is why they're here. But it's only another day or two, maybe. It's a holiday weekend, so I don't know when my part's gonna get delivered, and then my computer will be banging.
Judge, I'm here on Mr. Safari, S-A-F-F-A-R-I.
Okay.
And I was speaking to. We needed a probable cause,
Do you want to?
not really, Judge.
Okay.
We do 100 miles an hour, 120 miles an hour.
Yeah, 122 and that's 65.
122 miles an hour?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Safari, come up. not letting Mr. Haggard, he's not, no, no. I'm sorry. Go ahead, and if you don't mind, Mr. Safari, we're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you, sir. Okay.
On March 14th, 2026, in Harris County, Texas, officer observed a vehicle going 70 miles per hour on Katy Freeway. Officer accelerated their speed to about 110 miles per hour, and defendant continued to accelerate his speed and make multiple lane changes without signaling and weaving through traffic. Defendant reached a max speed of 122 in a 65 mile per hour zone. The driver of the vehicle was identified as defendant. The officer observed glossy eyes and a mild odor of alcoholic beverage emitting from his breath. Defendant admitted to drinking one shot known as a B52 45 minutes before the traffic stop. Standard field sobriety tests were conducted, 4 out of 6 HGN, 8 out of 8 walking turns, and 3 out of 4 one-leg stand. DIC was read and a sample was denied. A blood search warrant was executed.
Any prior DWIs?
No prior DWIs, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Safari, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. I am now taking your ability to drive away from you. You are not allowed to drive at all. You will sign with me an affidavit. This is a promise that you're going to make to me today that you're not going to drive. If you do, I can have a contempt hearing, and every time you drive, you can be facing 180 days in jail and a $500 fine. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Do not drive. I don't care what you have to do in this life. You do. You will go to jail. As a condition of your bond, you were ordered not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. You will be randomly tested. If you fail to go test, a warrant issues. If you consume alcohol or illegal drugs, likewise, a warrant issues. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Because you have a lawyer, I will waive your appearance. It is your responsibility to stay in touch with him. If he tells me he cannot get a hold of you because you're playing games, likewise, I will revoke your bond. There are no more PR bonds for you. This is not a revolving door. If I have to put you in jail, I'm going to make your bond high. For now, I'll have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. You'll get with Veronica for your bond conditions, and then we'll have you come up here, swear to us that you're not going to drive.
Sir, thank you, Judge. You understand why when you ask me, the way I'll call it.
Yeah, I get it, but at 122 miles an hour in a 65,
Hopefully do better on the direct, on the light pictures. Let's see, we'll test the drink.
do not drive. I'm not going to warn you again.
You know, we get to get somebody, we gotta get your car. It's not get you.
Counsel.
Get some much.
All right, come on.
Thank you, Judge.
Thanks.
So, good, so.
Nick, he has to go over there and put another guy's
Yeah,
affidavit.
no, I have to.
Hey, can I borrow you, one of you guys? Anderson's the last name.
Hi, another Smith.
It's also. Josh,
That's too much for most chats. You're gonna break
Mr.
down.
Anderson, you're charged with assault of a family member. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. As a condition of your bond, I'm ordering you not to have any contact with the complaining witness in this case. There's a protective order that has been issued and you need to get to know it. If you do something to violate this protective order, they will file additional charges against you, a violation of a protective order, and that is one of the worst misdemeanors that you can pick up. Do you understand? You're not to have any contact with this person whatsoever. I don't care if she calls you. If she calls you, hang up. If she texts you, do not reply. If she comes to your house, don't answer the door. You're the one that's going to go to jail, and this is not a revolving door. You will not get PR bond after PR bond. Do you understand? How old are you, sir? How do you support yourself? Okay. It is time for you to get a job. Job. I am now making that a condition. You don't get to just sit at home and do nothing all day while everybody else is paying for it. You need to get a job, to do something with your time, because otherwise life tends to get self-destructive. You hang out with the wrong people, you pick up new cases. You are now 19 and on number 1, 2, 3. No more. Do you understand? So appoint a lawyer, please, and then back in 2 weeks for a job.
Yes.
When you come back in 2 weeks, I want to see 20 to 30 applications filled out, and I want proof, not spoken word. Do you understand me? If you haven't done anything, it's not going to go well between us. No contact, no weapons.
Thank you, Judge. We'll get him squared away.
Thanks.
So,
Hey,
So I have a client that's 173 days old. He's gonna be in PI. He came back low risk on CRES. I've asked the probation department to reassess what they're asking to do, even though it's the lowest possible risk. This is the standard thing that I'm getting a lot on the requiring classes, frankly, that are unnecessary based upon my training experience. So I asked the head of probation to look at the TRS. That's where I'm at. Mr. Senator.
okay. So how long is that going to take?
I sent it to her yesterday because that's the first time I got the TRS was yesterday.
Okay. And I mean, in the interim, you can start working on getting everything though.
He's done everything else. He's actually here to pay his fee today. He's gonna go pay his fee today.
Does he have the interlock already?
I don't think he has the interlock in because they don't know exactly what the conditions are.
Well, the interlock standard on everyone regardless, right? So
You
at
gotta
least,
pay for it as soon as you install it. And so.
I mean, it's not going to be too long. I mean, it's
No,
going to be a week or so.
He's
So-
taking care of stuff today, for sure.
So let's set it off till next week. I mean, I can't imagine it'll take that long.
Another Smith. When is the last time you lived in the same state as your husband?
No, and if I can get it done in the interim, I'll have.
Okay. Go for it.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Mr. D,
no last go, Judge, for a plea.
okay.
No last.
I'm not.
Come up, Mr. Nolasco.
He's in custody.
Oh, he's in custody.
Right
Got
now. Yes, sir.
I'm just trying to get everything clear. All right, so next week, which day would you like?
It's far.
Thursday, second? How long is that?
Mr. D. That must have been lovely. 2 whole months.
Epimenia.
Yes, sir.
What you got, man?
It's an amended bond condition. So I'll get judge.
What's your cause number?
259.
Okay.
8616. Jefferson or Solid.
Okay.
I approached last week, Judge, asking to get it, yes, and that was granted. And the reason for that was he was going to work now and his father has a father. But, I failed to address, it's random, so they check.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna take that off.
Oh, but is there a way that we can have them take it in Alabama?
He'll have to go to a Quest Diagnostics. It's gotta be Quest. It will not accept anywhere else. Okay? So, and it's up to, if he gets called, it's on you guys to get the drug test, get it back to us. Otherwise, I'm gonna haul him in here and it's not gonna go well. So let him know that if he gets called to take a drug test, it's gotta be at a Quest. And then it's up to him to get it to you, get it to us ASAP. And then if not, then a BVR gets filed. Okay? All right, you waive the signature.
Thank you.
All right. All right, Mr. Nolasco, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a
Hi,
$4,000 fine.
Christy.
You have worked out an agreement where they're offering you 24 days in jail with credit for the 8 days that you've done. You need to understand that this charge will go on your record. It will be there forever. Any new cases from now on, you're facing a minimum of 90 days in jail. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
You are giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you are not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You also give up the right to appeal. Once you accept this agreement, you can never change this or undo this.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is this what you want to do?
Yes, Your Honor.
How do you plead to the offense, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
I'm going to find you guilty. Follow this agreement. I am going to suspend your license for 180 days. Do not drive until you get a license.
Yes,
Good luck, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr.
Yes,
D.
Your Honor.
Still need him for numbers.
Hey.
Judge?
Yeah.
I'm Judge.
Hey,
Mr. Wolf,
Yes,
Thank you.
I'll try in a second. All right, good morning, Mr. Sanders. Sir, you're charged with theft. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. You've worked out an agreement. They're offering you 12 days in jail with credit for the 4 days that
Christy,
you've done.
Carrie, hello.
This charge will go on your record. It will be there forever. Is this number 1, 2? Do you know?
Number 2.
What happens on the next step, Mr. Sanders? Wrong. Prison. You were looking at years in prison, not just a rinky-dink 12 days in jail. A third offense is a felony offense. Do you understand? You were giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. Once you accept this agreement, it will go on your record. It will be there forever. Is this what you want to do? How do you plead to the offense? Are guilty or not guilty? And we'll find you guilty. Send you to this agreement. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Step over here.
Hey, what's up? Oh, I'll try. How many do we need? Okay, bye.
YouTube is desperately trying to shut him up. Desperately.
Do you have a cause number?
Yes, sir. 261.
Got it, okay. Thank you. Lubos, come up.
With this one, Your Honor, he's accused of assaulting a maintenance worker that works across the street, but also goes to his property area. I'm going to ask for no threatening, harassing conduct, so he doesn't have to move out of his home.
We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you, sir.
On March 18th, 2026, in Harris County, Texas, officer was dispatched to a business building in reference to an assault. The security guard, the witness, stated that one of the maintenance workers got assaulted earlier in the day. The complainant stated he was blowing leaves off the entrance to the parking garage when he saw the defendant coming towards him. The defendant pushed him from behind. The complainant fell forward and hit his face on the curb of the parking garage, causing a cut on the left side of his knee. The defendant said something about the noise the complainant was making and went back to his loft. The incident was caught on video.
Okay. I don't want him to have contact with this person. I'm not doing no threatening, harassing contact. I don't want you to have contact with this person. I don't care what you have to do, but if you try to have any kind of contact with them, and I don't care if it's accidental, I'm going to put your butt in jail. There are no more PR bonds. I'm going to protect my community at all costs. I don't care how much noise is going on. I don't care what the problem is. Do you understand, Mr. Lubos?
Yes, sir.
As also as a condition of your bond, you're ordered not to be in possession of any weapons. I'm not ordering him not to go there. I'm ordering no contact. So if you accidentally bump into this person, it's not going to go well for you. There are no accidents in this life. There are choices. You either make a good choice or you make a boneheaded one. And a boneheaded one may land you with me for a long time. Because you have a lawyer, I will waive your appearance. It is your responsibility to stay in touch with them. If they tell me they cannot get a hold of you, I will revoke your bond. Do not pick up any new cases. Do not violate these conditions. Do you understand?
Yes.
I will have you sign a reset. We'll have you take a seat in the jury box. We'll get your bond conditions. Once you sign the conditions at that point, you'll be free to go. All right.
Okay. 60 sounds good.
Hey, you ready?
I believe they are.
Come on.
Bring them up.
Do you have a free?
I do, Your Honor.
Okay.
So Mr. Rose Butler.
Are you ready?
Aye.
Okay. Mr. Butler, come on up. Oh, he's in jail. Got it. Okay.
Yes. Looking on waivers. Things have been today. Oh,
Be right back. Behave.
April 9th.
You doing it, Judge?
Pretty good. How about you? Anything new?
No, I messed up my ankle trying to build some children's furniture. I had an 80-pound headboard fall on it, so.
Oh, you're lucky it's not broken, man. An 80-pound foot. My goodness.
It looks pretty mellow.
You know, I have such weak ankles too. I can't even play basketball because I walk like this. All my shoes are. So when I play basketball, I invariably always just roll it, and it's like it sucks getting old, doesn't it? God.
As soon as it was happening, I was like, with my wife, I was just like, this is just an old injury all over. It just
Yeah. Just don't get on a ladder.
Yeah. Wouldn't dream of it. Wouldn't dream of it. $1,000. Sure. Sorry.
Over here first. Over here.
Victoria, you want to go ahead and appoint her someone?
Yes, Judge. No, I mean, I'm sorry.
Good morning, Mr. Butler. So you're charged with criminal trespass. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. You've worked out an agreement. They're offering you 8 days in jail with credit for the 10 days that you've done. You need to understand that by pleading guilty to this charge will go on your record. It will be there forever. You will now be facing a minimum of 30 days in jail for any new cases that you pick up over here. You understand? You are giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You also give up the right to appeal. This is final today. You can never change this or challenge this. Is this what you want to do?
Sure.
How do you plead to the offense?
Yeah.
I'm going to find you guilty. I'll follow it. Good luck to you, sir. Thank you. How are you?
Oh, much better. Good morning.
Good to see you.
Oh, yes.
Just make sure you're taking care of yourself, you know?
Yes.
So,
I'm approaching on Mr. Flores Raul.
okay. Where do you want to go with this? You want PTI? Do you want to just take something?
It's not illegal for PTI. They've offered us 12 months probation.
Yeah.
Alternative for 30 days in jail. He's saying rather than 30 days because of this.
Okay.
But he wants to know if it is possible for him to turn himself in 2 weeks' time.
Yes.
Or just said.
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
He's still under bond condition though.
Yes.
So even though we do it, he still has all conditions until he turns himself in. But yeah, of course. Yeah, just make sure you pick the date.
Okay.
Okay.
Morning.
Hi, Mr. Kim. Hi. Did everything work out?
On one of them.
Did you get the phone like you wanted?
I actually didn't end up needing it, but I did talk to the first floor of the jail and I had like 3 or 4 deputies looking at my paper. They said it would probably work and then I should take to the dudes.
Okay. I mean, he ended up keeping the waiver, which is probably good for us.
Oh, well, okay, so it's,
But he still needs his phone numbers. What do you have?
all right, so what's the deal, Pickle?
We're here on Abdul Haq. It's two last names. I don't know if it's either Abdul or.
Yeah, okay, I got it.
This client is hopeful that her warrant will be revoked tomorrow. The lawyers in Las Vegas called me yesterday and told me they have a motion and a hearing tomorrow to allow for a walk through bond, which would legally revoke the warrant and she would be released. If that doesn't happen, however, she is still interested in seeking a bond here, and she is not wanting to reset the bond hearing until Friday. They just want to get set.
This is the one where she refused on the 20th and the defendant jurisdiction has already let me know they've already started preparing a document for it. So they want it.
Do we have any indication that she's a flight risk? Is this a 2B? Is it?
It's a 2B, but it's a little bit mix of both. She's wanted for 3 charges. This was the one where it was set between 25,000 to 100,000. Basically our Texas analog of fraudulent use of ID and fraudulent use of. So it's all combined in effectively one transaction. But state will be opposed. This was August of last year. She stole a Navy Federal Credit Union credit card from another person who purchased about $32,179 give or take dollars worth of jewelry, which is apropos nothing, but it's like a federal poverty guideline. But she sold that much in jewelry. Obviously, you started with it.
Wait.
So she went to a jewelry store with a stolen credit card, purchased roughly $32,000 worth of jewelry, and then, left with it. And then the complainant for the credit card states that the defendant did not have permission to use it. Obviously, the jeweler with a fraudulent purchase did the complainant into that because it was obtained by way of fraudulent activities.
And of course, Your Honor, my client denies all allegations. She already has a lawyer in Las Vegas fighting it as we're speaking. Not a flight risk if they're appearing in court.
The only other history that she had was within this domestic in 21 because of requested complaints.
But this case has been allegedly open since.
Well, I know the incident was in August, but I believe the warrant was issued there on, let me tell you, in December. I imagine they did some investigating with surveillance video and credit cards and grand subpoenaing for search warrants for bank records.
Which she had no.
I don't know. I really don't. If you have a lawyer in Vegas and they're prepared to do a walkthrough, once that hits, then you're not going to have to pay anything. If I set you a bond now, it's going to be high to ensure that you make it back to Las Vegas. I'm not going to set these. You're a fugitive from justice, so you're an inherent flight risk. If I set you a bond, it's going to be rather high to ensure that you go back because, I have enough drama in my life. I don't need any more, and I certainly don't want anyone else hurt on account of us setting a bond. So we need to make sure that it's sufficiently high. You understand? Sorry? So what we can do though is if you guys have a lawyer, we can set it a day or two, and if that does work out, then they'll release you. But you need to understand that you can't just, not do anything. If they do set you a bond over there, you have to go back to Vegas and you have to take care of these things. You can't just out of sight, out of mind, because, once you have multiple fugitive cases to judges, that indicates more and more of a potential flight risk, and it makes things worse all around. We don't want to see a bunch of cases. We don't want to see any indications of flight because it just makes everything so much worse.
Yeah, that's the plan. I have to get back to work. So this is my worry. I didn't want to wait until, I don't know. Okay. So
Well, my concern is not your work. So if we set you a bond, I don't care that you have to work. I need you to go back to Vegas, and that's my concern. And you can't use, well, I got to work, so I can't go to Vegas. That doesn't.
Oh, no, that's not what I was saying. That's not what I was saying. I have a lawyer already, like I was trying to take care of it. I plan to go straight to Vegas and take care of it.
Do you want
But
to?
don't set me up on, I'll wait until see what happens.
If for some reason it doesn't work out in Vegas, I can hear you more, and then we can talk about, I mean, I'm not going to go nuts on your bond, but it has to be sufficiently high that you understand that we mean business, and that if you don't go back, there are severe consequences, you know? I'm going to tell you now, if we do set you a bond and you take off and you don't go to Vegas, I'm not going to do this again.
That's not what I'm doing. But
I get a lot of people that sell me the sun and the moon and the stars and, you know, but you need to understand that actions have consequences, and especially in light of something like of this nature.
Can we go to Friday?
Sure, of course. Do you want to?
She's not approving time while she's refusing, that's why I'm double checking.
The thing is, this also is that, you know, you have refused, so essentially, once you waive, we give the demanding jurisdiction here, Florida, 14 days to come get you. If they don't come get you within that 14 days, then Harris County releases you. Sometimes they come, sometimes they don't. It just depends on the person. So, but while you have refused, no time is accruing toward that 14 days. It's just kind of in a holding pattern. What they can do is, okay. All right. Regardless, though, if you want to set it for Friday, if it doesn't happen, then let's talk. And I will set you one. I'm telling you, I'll set you one.
What in the world did I just walk into in chat? You guys are talking about dildo? Just asking.
But it has to be sufficiently high so that you know that.
That's like what range we need.
I don't know. I don't know. Let's see first if that plays out for you. Okay? So you save money.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay.
Judge, I have a couple of conditions in your view.
Please.
Judge, I got Deonta Dennis.
Okay.
His case is getting a little old. I think it's about 170 days. His appearance was required today. He called me yesterday to let me know that he had been admitted to West Oaks Psychiatric Hospital.
You have some kind of proof?
I asked him for documentation. He hasn't sent me any yet, Judge. Could we maybe,
It's 182 days old.
could we reset it a week or two?
We did that last time.
Okay.
So, I
But
mean,
you know, I was happy that he had reached out to me to let me know.
pick a day next week, SFBF. If he's not here, then,
1 week. Okay.
any day next week, except for Friday, because it's Good
Okay.
Friday, right?
I'll set it to next Wednesday.
Sure, SFBF.
Okay.
If he's not here,
Understood. I'll try to reach him.
All right.
Thank you, Judge.
hey, wait, hey, do you have an offer on these cases?
Yes, Judge, it's deferred.
So let him know, because it's clear trial on that day too.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you,
I
Judge.
call him Bob too.
all right.
Morning, Judge. I have an off docket,
What's your cost number?
259
Okay,
7347.
okay.
Mr. Vela?
Did you just bond out? No.
No, he's on bond. It's questioning about his curfew.
Okay,
He's provided me his work schedule. On most days, he works from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. His curfew, I believe, is 9 to 6. He'd like to be able to leave earlier to go to work and stay out later.
no. I mean, for work purposes, I'll let you do what you need for work, but I'm not letting him stay out in the middle of the
That's what I
night.
mean, for work purposes.
Sure, give me the time. You said he works until 8?
He works from 7 8, he's working 13-hour shifts
Okay,
from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. I think currently he has to be in at 6.
sure. I'll give you till like 8:30 or so, but only on the days that he's working. Yes, but we want proof that he's actually working. We're not going to take his word for it. And then show me the schedule. And just for those days that he's working, you know, we need to know how far it is from his work. I mean, we're not going to just give him whatever he wants. He's on 2 defers for felonies. He picked up another case. So we're keeping it very Come up, Mr. Bela.
Nan calls him Bob too.
Just so you can see these are just what got was there. 70.
In a matter of a year and a half to 2 years, you have picked up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cases. You're on deferred for 2 felonies, and now you've picked up a new case. I'm keeping you as close as I possibly can. 1 violation. It's really not going to go well for you. Do you understand me? Any more violations, your bond's now at 15,002. Any more, it's going to hit the nubes. Do you understand? So I need to know how far from the work. Well, you guys talk, but I'm not going to take his word for it. I want proof for everything, where he's working, where the house is, how far the house is to his work, and then only on the days that he's working.
I strongly suggest you do testing. Test it out. Test these theories out.
And we're going to verify with your job that you're actually doing these hours. I'm not going to take your word for anything. Do you understand? No. We're going to do it. We're going to call the work because I'm not going to have, I want to make sure that we're calling and we're talking to the right person.
Right.
Do you understand? This life is about proof. This is a court. We work on proof, not on gospel. Do you understand? We work to protect our city at all cost. I don't care who you are. I don't care how old you are. With as much drama as we've had in the last year and a half, 1 false move, I'm going to go bananas. Do you understand? The only time I'm giving you is for work and nothing else. I need them to verify that you're actually working steadily for 13 hours a day. You were not allowed to go to 7-Eleven. You were not allowed to go to Burger King on the times when you're supposed to be working. It's home to work to home. Do you understand?
Hold on, his lawyer says something here I'm interested in, okay? This guy's, he's on home detention, but he gets to go to work. So, here.
Okay.
Lunch?
Well, he's can obviously eat lunch. I mean,
So he's allowed to go wherever he wants for lunch? He's just allowed to go and go to a restaurant or whatever?
I think he can eat lunch, but I'm not giving him out to go dilly-dally here, there, go hang out with friends. No.
Gotcha.
No.
I got it.
You guys talk and let me know. All right. Counsel,
Your Honor.
what's your cause number? I'm assuming since you got a warrant issued. What's your cause number?
It's 259.
Okay.
3144. 2 cases.
On Addison.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you mind bringing him up, please? Did you get the cause number?
I did good, yes.
Did you get it, Victoria?
Yes, Judge, I have it.
Did you get it? You got it?
I did.
Mr. Addison, you're charged with 2 cases. You're charged with the assault of a family member and unlawful restraint. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir. Okay.
So judges for the
Let's do both.
Okay.
Dealer's choice.
So the unlawful judge coming from the DIMS on November 6th, 2025, officers dispatched a disturbance on a weapon call in Harris County. Officer arrived on scene and met with the complainant. The defendant was on scene at arrival. The complainant advised that she and the defendant were in a dating relationship for 3 years. Said the defendant saw her playing a game app on her phone and he thought that she was cheating on him. The complainant said the defendant and her got into a verbal argument. The defendant shoved her into their bedroom, closed and locked the door. The defendant placed the chair in front of the bedroom door and he sat down on it, sat there so that she would not come out. The complainant said that whenever she would get close to the door, the defendant would get up and intimidate her to go back in the bedroom. The complainant was scared and nervous that she never used the restroom and was released the next day. The complainant said the defendant gave her food, but she was scared. Defendant was eventually released from the bedroom. Complainant said the defendant gave her back her cell phone. And then a notification went off, and the defendant got agitated and demanded the phone back. The complainant refused. The defendant grabbed the phone and by her chin and the top of her head. She thought it was going to break her neck. The complainant dropped the phone. The defendant snatched her phone, valued at $1,200, along with her other electronic belongings, an iPad, a smartwatch, and left before the police arrived.
Okay, wait a second. I gotta come to YouTube's defense on this one, Bren. I'm sure all your best comments were probably not appropriate.
That's,
The assault, is that this or is this is it another
That is a
case?
separate case, Judge.
Different defendant?
Same complaining witness.
Same complaining witness?
Yes,
Okay.
Judge. The assault is on an officer conducted a follow-up investigation. The complainant advised that the defendant, her ex-boyfriend, and her on December 24th in Harris County went to HD on Shepherd. The defendant was driving and their kids were in the car. The defendant received a call from a bondsman from a previous case the defendant had. The complainant was facing the window of the car when the defendant then struck her 2 times in the left temple, causing pain. The complainant was transported to LBJ Hospital for head injuries upon arrival at PHEB.
Okay. Do you see anything else that's open? Can you run an NCIC?
I can run that,
Please.
That's already.
I'm not seeing anything else on the judge.
Okay. Veronica, can I get a PSR on Mr. Addison, please?
If it makes you feel any better, Bren, I'm sure
So what do you
all of
think
your
about bond,
comments
guys?
ran right across my mind.
What's appropriate?
I'm asking for 2,500 at each, Your Honor. My client is 40 years of age. He does have 3 children that he supports, ages 19, 15, and 11. They all live with him. He does own his own business. He escorts 18-wheelers for a living. He goes interstate.
I swear to God, though, if I start getting bread recipes on all my websites, though, I'm shutting chat down. I'm shutting this chat down. Turn this car around and going home.
To do his work. Generally, he works 5 days a week. He's a lifelong resident of Houston, Texas.
Who do you think? 2,500 on both.
Yeah.
Okay with that, Judge.
Okay. I'll give you what you're asking for. You're asking, and I'll set both of your bonds at $2,500. I want you to understand something, Mr. Addison. I'm going to protect my community at all costs. I don't care who you are. I don't care what color you are. I don't care how old you are. If I have to set your bond at $2 million, I will do it in a heartbeat. I've done it before, and I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. As a condition of your bond, you're ordered not to have any contact with this complaining witness at all. I don't care that you have kids. I don't care that you got a billy goat and that you need to contact her to do it. You have contact, and any contact with this person, I'm going to put your butt in jail. I will revoke these bonds, and I'm going to set them high. I'm issuing a protective order on both of these cases that identifies Ms. Johnson as a protected individual. You cannot commit family violence or an assault against this person. Commit an act in furtherance of an offense under section 42.072 of the Texas Penal Code, which is the stalking statute. You cannot stalk, threaten, harass, use another person to communicate a threat, harassing behavior. You cannot be in possession of a weapon or go within 200 feet of where she lives or where she works. This includes the address on Annabelle. Do you understand? Any contact whatsoever, and I don't care how minute it is, you will go to jail. You're in violation, and it's very possible they file a violation of a protective order. That is one of the worst misdemeanor cases you could pick up. Do you understand? Do you mind reaching out to the complaining witness to let her know what we've ordered? No contact. He's not allowed to go to where she works, where she lives, no weapons. So that if he attempts anything, you guys let us know and we'll take the appropriate action.
Yes, sir.
Because you have a lawyer, I will waive your appearance. It is your responsibility to stay in touch with Mr. Holt. If he tells me he cannot get a hold of you, I'm going to revoke your bond. There's just not a revolving door. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand? If you pick up a new case, if you violate these conditions, it's just not going to go well for you. I'm, Mr. Addison, not asking for much. I want my streets safe, and I'm going to do everything in my power to protect them. You understand me? So for now,
I don't use sugar in my bread either. I don't use sugar in my bread. I don't think I would not eat that. I don't know if I would eat my bread if it had a ton of sugar in it. But now I might try.
we will have you sign a reset. I'm going to have you take your seat in the jury box while we get your bond conditions. Once you sign everything, at that point, we're going to release him to your bondsman, and then you guys can walk through to go do all the bonding paperwork. At that point, you will probably get a new date. Just reach out to Victoria and we'll give you whatever day you want. After that, it'll be probably like a 2-month reset or whatnot. And
Yes, sure.
I don't care. You can have whatever you want. Okay. And it'll obviously be waived for the first couple of settings. All right,
Judge.
please. Okay.
Judge, what was the bond set at?
Each at 2,500.
Okay. PR bond or pre-trial bond?
No, he's going to go with Rick. They're going to escort him to go do the paperwork. He needs to sign the MOA and it'll be state's bond conditions.
Okay.
So on both cases, if you don't mind filing, no contact with the weapons, please.
I don't do Hawaiian bread hardly ever. If there's nothing else, sometimes when it's like a holiday, you go to the grocery store for rolls to go with dinner or something like that. They don't have anything left but Hawaiian. Then I might pick up Hawaiian if I don't make my own. But I can't do Hawaiian bread. It's just not yummy. I don't think so. I don't even like potato bread much. I like my bread. That's why I'm spoiled. I love when my house smells like my bread and when it first comes out and it's really hot. So the rest of the breads that you get like at the store and stuff, they don't taste yummy, 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 yummy. They're good, they're okay. I mean, I eat bread all the time, but it's not like mine. Welcome back, Margaret. I am sorry, but it's over now. We did it. Okay. If you missed the first case, guys, you'll like it. There's a lot of guns involved. I was waiting for some of the international folk to say, what, that's not normal? What is that? Is that not normal? Yeah, that's not normal. That's not how we really live here. We don't all have 300 guns and explosives in our house. That's a pretty big deal. We don't have, okay, maybe Josh can help me with this, but you might not be old enough. So maybe you can't. There used to be this, and I'm asking specifically for this one model. You know how you can make a semi-automatic, fully automatic with one of these clips that you put on the trigger. Okay, I know there used to be these clips they sold called Hellfire. That is not what I am talking about. Back, I don't know, 40 years ago. No, not 40 years ago. 35 years, no, 25 years ago, there was this other clip, and it started with hell. It was not a Hellfire clip. Don't tell me it's Hellfire, because I know it's not. That I've always, I've forgotten about it, and this is one of these things that live rent-free in my head, trying to figure out the name of this clip that would make your semi fully automatic. And they don't sell it anymore. This was like 25 years ago, maybe 30 years ago. If anybody knows what I am talking about, just let me know, because for years I've been trying to remember what this stupid clip was called. And for years, if I would ask anybody, they would all say the same thing. They're Hellfire. No, that's not what I'm talking about. It is a clip. It's just not the one I'm talking about. But anyway, thank you for coming out today. No stream tomorrow morning because it's Sunday. But tomorrow night we will have a stream. No, wait. Tomorrow's Saturday. Wait, no. Today is Saturday. It's fine. It's fine. Tomorrow's Sunday. So tomorrow night we have a stream, not tomorrow day. I hope you guys have a great, great, great Saturday. And I'll see you all again very, very soon. Happy Easter, Tanner. Bye, guys.
Well, I thought I'd write a happy song. I found a chat room where I belong. You don't know how much it means to me. With such a groove, I'm less lonely. Oh, Kathy's the creator. She's leading the way. At court,
It won't let me pause it. Thank you so much, Margaret. Thank you.
She's got that grace, come join the fun. It's a welcome place. I can count on distraction from my pain, 'cause this creator takes you there and back again.
You can refund it. You can cancel it. You really can. Look it up. It's easy. You can cancel it. They'll take it right back. I promise. It's not hard.
Kathy's the creator. She's leading the way. At court vibes, we laugh and we stay. Her style is classy. She's always top shelf. Don't take my word. Come and see for yourself. Twist or two. I really like them. I believe you will too. A little lifeline passed along in rhyme. Why don't you join us? It's a guaranteed good time. So in conclusion, I'll wrap up this song. I hope I didn't miss anything that would be wrong. Hope I see you around. Don't stay on the shelf, join in the laughter. Come and see